So imagine you're responsible for an industrial wastewater treatment plant. Every day you want to keep your water quality good, but on the other hand, you also want to keep your costs as low as possible. To maintain a good water quality, you need to rely on your lab results. But these lab results are usually can be seen after 48 hours. So these 2 days of delay creates some uncertainty. And usually operators, to overcome this uncertainty, they start overcompensating, meaning adding extra chemicals or adding extra aeration just to stay safe. But to actually tackle this problem, we created Liquisens Predict. This custom built tool can provide a live prediction for your effluent water quality parameters. So instead of waiting for 2 days to see the lab results, basically the operators instantly see the change of the current status of this plant and the exact effect of any change in the process. So what you see on the screen is our tool for water management optimization. On the top of the screen, you see the effluent water quality trend over time. So here on the red are the days that any of these predicted parameters, which in this case is COD, total nitrogen, and suspended solid, are above their compliancy limits. So if we select any of these days, for example here, 10th of June 2025, we see the exact value of these predicted parameters for that day in this table. So here if we see, for example, COD and suspended solid is way above their compliance limits. But when we run the optimization, the model basically calculates what is exactly needs to be adjusted for these parameters to go into the acceptable range while staying within the scope of the process. So of course, here we can see that all of these parameters are now green within their accepted range. And of course, this has some cost for the plant. In that specific example, we need to increase the nutrient dosing by 6 liter, or we need to increase the aeration by 11 hours in that specific day. And the cost of these ones can be seen in the cost impact dashboard. In the cost impact dashboard, we can see how much of each changing of each parameters can basically cost for the whole plant. But on the other side, if we select any day that everything looks fine on it, we can see that how much the model basically calculates how much it needs to be adjusted for us to stay within compliancy, but keeping the plant's cost as low as possible. So for example, when we select this day, 16th of November, and when we run the optimization, we see that COD goes up from 34 to 40 milligram per liter. So we're still well within the compliancy. But we see that in that case, we can lower the nutrient dosing by 35 liter, or we can lower the buffering the tank by 9 centimeters. Again, when we go to the cost impact dashboard, we can see that for that specific example, we saved 250 euros in that day. And we can see each of these elements, how much each of these elements can contribute to this amount. This 250 euros per day will be something around 15,000 per year. And at the end, last but not least, at the end of this optimization dashboard, are the setup and configurations and the boundaries, which these boundaries and configurations are designed to be actively checked with the process engineer, the environmental advisor, and also the operators who can take control of these parameters every day.